Joyous Rising family, peace. This is Dr. Kia. It's Thursday, April 28th, and the time is 9:42 a.m. I like Thursdays. I'll tell you a secret. I like Thursdays because my friend does a broadcast on Thursdays, and he's fine. So I always look forward to Thursdays. Shh, don't tell nobody. Anyway, today let's talk about self-mastery. Self-mastery is self-discipline or self-control. It's the ability to control your impulses and your desires. The reason why it's important to master your desires, your instincts, your feelings, your emotions, your needs, your thoughts, is because if you don't control or discipline yourself, somebody else can have control over you. Now that's important because we are leaving the third dimension. And in the third dimension, the overlords or the beings that were in control would implement certain programming through the television, through the music, through the video games, through social media, through the radio, through as many mediums as they could that will cause us to emit a psychic energy that we call Loosh. So what they would do is they would cause anxiety, they would cause fear, they would cause panic, anger, and all those range of emotions through their media and the things that they would report, or through the movies, or through the songs, or through the games, through the ad or advertisements, so that we could always be in a state of panic or confusion. And what will happen when that will happen is you can't focus on your life, or it makes it very difficult to focus on your future, on your family, on wealth, acquiring wealth, or just the things that are important and necessary for your enjoyment, your pleasure, your happiness, your joy, your family's development and growth. If they could keep us focused off those things and focus on the things that will cause us to lose control over our emotions, we would emit this angry, negative energies that they would feed off of, that we call Loosh, as I mentioned before. So these entities are energetic beings. They don't eat food necessarily, unless they're human hybrids, but they can eat your energy. They are what people call energy vampires. So what they would do, again, is anything they could in their power to get you to lose control, lose your discipline. But today I'm coming before you to encourage you to maintain a high level of vibration, to have joy, to have peace, to create a life of well-being and happiness. So imagine if there are negative entities that feed off Loosh, or psychic energy that is as angry and full of pain. There are probably other energetic beings that feed off positive energy. Just like you feed off positive energy when you're around somebody that's high vibrational, it makes you feel good, it makes you joyous. When you hear good news, you're excited, you're happy, and it can control your entire day just hearing good news. So I'm encouraging you to master your mind, master your thoughts, master your desires, master your impulses. Take control over yourself. Now, we live in an era where you could just let it all hang out. You can do what you want to do, be with whomever you want to do. It doesn't even matter that whenever you lay with different people, you acquire all their energy and you deal with every single person that they've been with. You're just supposed to just let it all hang out. Sleep with whoever you want to. Pop off. Say whatever you feel. Just not even give a thought about how someone else may be affected. Just be angry. Just be violent. That was the third dimension. So, but we have to rise above that and master our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and even our desires. Because you see, if you continue to focus on your sacral chakra, or your ability or desires to even do something as important as having sex, if that's all you focus on, then you're vibrating on the low frequency. Because people who are concerned about the development and well-being of themselves and their families and their and others. They are focusing on wealth creation or businesses or how to create something that that other people could use. And it just causes your mind to operate at a higher level than just laying down and opening your legs or mounting somebody. Now, we do know that eating, drinking, our sexual desires, even making sure you have a roof over your head, safety and security, those are basic needs that are important. Yes, but if we only focus on those things, it'll be more difficult for us to focus on our self-esteem needs and our self-actualization. Self-actualization, excuse me, is when a person maximizes their human potential. So you might be good at art, or you might be good at counseling, or you might be good at singing. How can you master those skills if you're only focusing on your base nature? Or how can you master those skills if you're so caught up on social media or bad news that comes on through the mediums, on the radio and the television? It's very difficult. Therefore, it behooves us to turn off the television, move ourselves away from social media, and have a balance. Make sure we eat the right foods that will nourish our bodies. Drink clean water, because even bad foods will cause us to emit Loosh, because you're angry, you're sick, you're in pain. And that energy from being so focused on pain or sickness still feeds those beings who were in power, right? So I'm encouraging you to master your emotions, master your desires. One way you can do that, other than removing yourself from social media and negative music and negative television and negative games, is by practicing fasting. Fasting is abstaining from things that you really enjoy, and even from things that are important or necessary, like food. Now, of course, I'm not your medical doctor, so you might want to make sure you are under the care of either your medical doctor or your holistic practitioner before you abstain from food. But fasting, and do some research on it, fasting helps you to move away from or abstain from sex, from food for a short period of time, even if it's just for a few hours, or from smoking, or from drinking, or just from television, those things that causes you to lose focus, or even fasting from, like I said, your needs. What that does is that create discipline within you. And when you have discipline, you learn how to master your emotions. You learn how to master your thoughts and your basic needs, your instincts, your impulses. That's very, very important, because if you can abstain from food, I'm telling you, it for those people, those of us who actually practice fasting, and I've been doing it since I was a child, when you abstain from food for a period of time, you don't have time to be angry, to pop off, to focus on things that are going on in the world, because you're using that time and that energy to read good, positive books, to write down your goals, to create vision boards, to focus on your future, to manage your money, and being able to discipline yourself from your basic needs. It calms you down. It mellows out your emotions, and it just does something to your psychic abilities. It for some people, it even said it increases your psychic abilities to be able to master your emotions. So practice self-mastery. Practice calming down and not allowing your emotions to run crazy, because when you do that, then you're not easily controlled. And this is the way the media was even allowed or able or in the position to control us, was through doing things like, let's bring up George Floyd for example. When that happened, people who weren't in the practice of mastering their emotions just went off of whatever the media said and believed it was true, which we have no evidence that it was true, other than what you saw with your eyes. But Hollywood is good at mastering deception and making us think something is true that isn't. So I'm not saying it was or it wasn't true. I'm saying all they had to do was put something in front of people, and people went crazy. People started tearing up their own cities. People started yelling at family members. People got on social media, and they just started acting unseemly because they haven't learned to master their emotions. When you are proactive, you don't necessarily become reactive. You don't just negatively respond to anything, because you know that anything is possible and you plan ahead. You know that people are violent and they do things that are unseemly. You know the media is good for putting things on the television that will cause you to be angry. So you plan ahead. You put yourself in a position to not be influenced by that. That's what I mean by self-mastery. Now, I'm not a master at self-mastery, but I do practice self-mastery. And I think life situations have caused me to learn these things. I think I've just been in a position to control my thoughts, to control my instincts, to control even my nature, to control my emotions, because of certain things that I've been through have provided me with an opportunity to either choose to be angry and choose to be reactive and choose to be vindictive, or I can choose to look for the opportunities in the things that I've been through and the lessons, and choose to be calm, to be level, and to plan ahead so that I won't be in certain positions to negatively respond. Because what I've noticed about a lot of people is that we don't take self-accountability for how we respond to things. We don't take accountability for the choices that we make. And instead, we'll say somebody else, you caused me to cheat. You caused me to be angry. It's your fault that I lashed out. It's because of what you did to me that I gained weight. It's because of my childhood. It's because of my genetics. It's because of my bloodline. It's because of what I've seen my people go through for centuries. That's why I'm so violent. Instead of doing that, if you learn how to take accountability for your own life and take responsibility for what you've allowed yourself to be exposed to, and even if you've been exposed to something beyond your control, if we take responsibility for how we react or respond, we will do a better job of having control of our lives. We will do a better job of mastering our emotions. So in part 2 of the video, I'm going to talk to you about the things that I've been through. And I'm going to self-disclose and show you how I taught myself self-mastery. I love you. Stay encouraged. Bye. Getting a phone call. Peace.